Luckily, we don't do this live.
Yeah.
Are we doing it live?
No.
Oh, we're not doing it live. Okay.
Well, people can't watch us live.
Yeah.
Right. That's why I said like when we mess up.
It just creeps me out because it says live.
It says live there, yeah.
But it's recorded. Okay. Yep. Okay. I guess we're good to go then, huh?
Yeah, let's start it.
All right.
Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of the Nick and Rob Homer Hour. We are excited. We had real football. We had competitive football. We'll talk about our disappointment with our teams in a little bit, but football is back and life is good. Joining us this week, we have Ryan Degnan, a fellow Rhode Islander. So we're going to talk a little bit more Patriots deep dive before we get into our EastSide news, and maybe we'll see what he feels like, how he feels about a LaSalle grad having a head coach position in the NFL instead of from his high school. We might even get into that. How's it going, Ryan?
It's going good. How are you guys doing?
We're doing great. I spent the whole weekend watching football, so that was a win.
Yeah, I spent the whole weekend watching football, but a little disappointed with C.D. Lamb, and we'll get into that when we get into that part of the show. But other than that, Ryan, I'm doing great, buddy.
All right, so as mentioned, Ryan he's from Rhode Island. He's a good friend of my brother's. He's also, most importantly, a big Patriots fan. So we're going to talk some Patriots stuff to get going. What I want to lead off with is how did you become a Pats fan? Was it just a family thing? Was there something that happened? What got you into the Patriots?
So, you know what's funny is I grew up in Las Vegas, and my originally from New England. So there was a little bit of Patriots where I was growing up, but everyone else was a Chargers fan, a Raiders fan. It was just all over the place. I even had a Leaf jersey that did not shake right to it. But I came back to Rhode Island and started watching football more. It was like perfect time to be a Patriots fan because it was when second Brady started to kind of break under the scene, and it's easy to follow a winner, and it was just a great team.
Yeah, we got pretty lucky. For me, I started in those early years growing up in Rhode Island. It was like, okay, this is the team that we watch every Sunday, and they suck, and that's life. And then we had, I remember how crazy it was when we made the AFC title game in '96, and then we beat the Jaguars, and then we're actually going to the Super Bowl with Drew Bledsoe and Curtis Martin, and it was like, oh my goodness, this is great. And then, as a kid at the time, I didn't understand the whole Bill Parcells is throwing a fit thing that, cost us that Super Bowl. But that was that first little taste of glory there. And then, especially because all the New England teams they all sucked back then. But then we had to wait a few more years till that magical run against Oakland, and then that Vinatieri kick there. So, yeah. And then it became, like you said, a great time to be a Patriots fan. For sure.
Yeah. I really can't think of a more comparable like 2 decades of just competitiveness.
None. I can't think of any. The Patriots run is one of the craziest runs of all time, and to be a part of that, I would dream to be cheering for a team cracking that many Super Bowls for a 20-year time span. So. Easy team to cheer for once they start winning, right?
Yes. Although then you find yourself having to, especially when you don't live in New England, you find yourself constantly defending your fandom, which I'm happy to do that. But sometimes it would get tiring over the years. But then sometimes it was just so wonderful. Like after that Falcons one, do you have a certain favorite a Pat's memory or moment or game that's like that when you think Patriots that jumps out to you immediately?
So it would actually be the Falcons game. There was I'd worked for a medical device company, and they had Celtics season tickets. And the Celtics used to always play on Super Bowl Sunday at like noon, and no one wanted the tickets. But it happened to be Paul Pierce's last game in the Garden. He was playing for the Clippers. So I got a couple of tickets. I think John was there. A couple of my other buddies. We watched Paul Pierce hit three-pointer at the buzzer in the Garden. The place erupted.
Yeah.
And then we ran back home and watched Super Bowl, and we're super bummed out for like three quarters of it. And then it was just magic. One of the best days of my life.
That's an all-time favorite for me. What makes that game in particular better for me is I was in Savannah, Georgia for that game for a work conference. So I had found the quietest bar I could find in the area that I could walk from my hotel that wasn't too packed, that I could just sit and watch the game. And then just having to like kind of be super, I couldn't go crazy. I had to be like super calm. And then once I got back into my hotel room, I was like, all right, let's get the highlights on. Let's yell and scream. Oh, that was good. It was that and the Malcolm Butler interception because they're so moments of so low, and then elevation when it burns, and just you can't beat that feeling. Yeah, I don't think anything can top that. Like the Butler play from as far as emotion swings. From my goodness, they're a yard out. They've slowed him down. They're not stopping Marshawn. We're not going to have time. They just got that miracle circus catch. Like, it's over. We're going to lose another one.
It was that Javon curse.
Yeah.
It's the ball floating around. And it's like, but then they passed it.
Yeah.
And just like, my God.
And Butler was ready. And the craziness is just the attention to detail that is the Bill Belichick Patriots is they knew that look. They were ready for that play. And Bill didn't call the timeout. When you think they got to call a timeout, he didn't call the timeout to bait them into potentially trying to do that throw. And then sadly, as a Longhorns fan, this is just also the reminder that Matt Patricia knows what he's doing on defense as well. As his defense a couple weeks ago made Arch Manning look like a not football player. Oh,
like a freshman.
Yeah, definitely. So, but yeah, no, those are some good memories. Did you enjoy those times, Nick?
Yeah, I was gonna say, sounds like a lot of fun moments. You got the Butler interception, the big comeback for the Falcons. I can even name ones that I like. I like the when you guys beat the Eagles the first time. That was really great. Entertaining way back when on their, I think
that was the
third Super Bowl.
That was the 3rd and 4 back to back. I had to listen to that one on the radio because I was in high school at the time, but I worked for CVS and I always had the Sunday close shift, and obviously no one would take that shift from me. So it was either no call, no show and lose the job because they knew why I was calling out, or I think 2 people came in at halftime to buy like batteries. So we just had this was pre-smartphone, so we just had the game on right the radio the whole time.
Yeah, while you guys are enjoying that, I got things like the Dez catch, no catch game, or Tony Romo fumbled snap. So I guess I'm suffering a little bit more than you guys are with this, but they were amazing games, and I remember watching every single one of them. I loved. I didn't mind it when New England was in the Super Bowl. I never really hated them that much. I like Tom Brady. So, and anytime they played against the Giants or the Eagles, I always cheered for the Patriots because winning another
Giants.
Super Bowl.
Yeah,
it usually didn't turn out well for us.
No, it didn't. Oh man, but it's too bad that those 2 Super Bowls just got like canceled and they didn't actually happen.
You made a average quarterback a Hall of Famer. Thanks a lot, guys.
We really did. We really did. So, you're a Pats fan. I'm a Pats fan. The media, ever since Tom left to do what most good New Englanders do when it's time to retire, he moved to Florida. I had no ill will for that. Ever since then, the media really pushes Belichick versus Brady. Where do you fall on that, Ryan?
I'd say it's a scale. definitely lean towards Brady because I think a great quarterback can make an average coach a Super Bowl winner. But in great coach can make an average quarterback look okay. I think with each other, it's not six. Maybe it's four. That Rams, the second Rams Bowl, had Belichick written all over it.
Yes, it did.
Don't really do touchdown pass. But I think without Brady, maybe Bill one or two, but without Brady, it's Belichick. Maybe it needs each other for. But I think the quarterback's the most important. Needs each other, but I think the quarterback's the most important. That's why they get paid so much.
Yeah, for sure. The quarterback is far and away the most important. But at the same time, like I'm one of those guys. I'm like, you can't have one without the other. I mean, it's a different sport, but for me, I always look at the Bulls, those '80s and early '90s Bulls. They had Michael Jordan, but they had like Doug Collins was the coach, and they didn't have a solid coaching structure. Phil Jackson comes in with his triangle offense, and next thing you know it, the Bulls, if they have Michael Jordan not suspended for gambling, I truly believe that's what it was, on his baseball sabbatical, that the Bulls just won titles. And especially, so for me, it's, you need both. Those first three, those weighed so much more heavily towards Belichick because Brady wasn't the Brady we think of back then. Brady was, he was a Brock Purdy back then. He was managing the game. He wasn't going to lose you the game, which as a New England fan, that's huge because he took over for Drew Bledsoe, who I loved. But Drew Bledsoe had a knack for putting that football into the other team's hands at the worst possible time so often. Which was, he's such a good quarterback. But it's nice that first Super Bowl we don't get without Drew's cameo against Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
That's at least he got that. Whereas like you look at the Red Sox and Nomar didn't get that. Nomar just got shipped out.
Right.
But yeah, so for me, I always feel like you need both. And I feel like the first half of the dynasty, that's Belichick. The second half, that's, the Patriot ways, and it's ensconced, it's there. And then you've got Brady just learning to make magic. So for me, it's both of them. And I hate when people try to say it has to be one or the other, or, ooh, Bills Tar Heels got blown out, Tom Brady's the winner. No, it's different. Especially, I mean, I have a hard time. Luckily, we have good sports radio down here. I have a very hard time listening to WEI.
I do have a quick question for you guys. Do you think the game is past Bill Belichick's time? Like, do you think his style of coach works and is as effective as it used to be? I know the hard-ass approach, used to be how it goes, but with the new college kids being a little bit more spoiled and the NFL players having a little bit more control, do you think it's an effective style anymore, or is it just he didn't really prepare the offense and find himself a quarterback after Brady left?
Go for it, Ryan.
I would say, this younger generation, it's definitely it's personality and kind of what Bill coaching for. You just see a lot more players, coaches now, and those coaches are the ones who are most successful. And I don't know if that's necessarily him. He's going to try to do what he can to put you in the best position for him. But sometimes you have to be a little more gentle, and I just don't know if that's his coaching style.
Yeah, I think he's got more knowledge of the game than anybody that possible. But I think he's only still coaching because he had fun doing the media. But if he has to pick, he wants to be on a practice field with a bunch of players. And okay, the NFL won't do it for him. Sweet, he's going to go to college, and then he'll win 7 or 8 games at North Carolina. Good job, and then maybe he'll do it one more year. But it is what it is. I do think, especially in college, it's just these days, if they a starter gets benched for a game, they transfer. So I
Right.
don't know how that works. And in the NFL, you always had, especially in those later years, you had the players that loved to play for Bill, and then you had because all they cared about was being a part of a team and being part of winning, whatever the cost, versus guys that wanted to get their stats. So I think he was always an acquired taste, but especially now, I think because I love the guy, I want to see him win. I want to see him win the ACC and make the college football playoff. That'd be hilarious. I'd love it. But I just want to see him be functional and somewhat dignified as he heads out. And I really would like us to avoid this whole new generation version of Jerry versus Jimmy, which we seem to have between Kraft and Bill. I'd love for that to go away.
It won't.
No.
It will not go away.
Yeah.
At least they got more Super Bowls before that happened.
Yeah.
So Ryan, we've been so here on the pod, we're bullish on the Pats this year. We'll talk specifically about week 1 in a little bit in EastSide News. But we're kind of expecting for them to contend for that 7 seed, maybe not get it, but contend for it. We have hope with Vrabel again. And we were in the desert for a few years, and now we've got Vrabel, who I have a massive man crush on. How are you feeling about the Pats going into the year?
Definitely optimistic. They have. My big thing with Ohio was the narrative is to get away from Belichick way of coaching, which was fine. But then they brought in Harry Man to take over. It seemed like the narrative and the actions were not connecting. But I'm still happy we got Vrabel. I was thinking maybe wins would be like a good season for them, and that could be defending for that 7th seed. But also cautiously optimistic because it's coaching staff, new. There's a lot of turnover there, so I think there's going to be a steep learning curve at the beginning. They have an easy schedule, thank God. But I think they need to, especially after last time, they really take care of business on the ones that they can.
Yeah, no, they should have won on Sunday. That's for sure. But yeah, I'm glad we have hope. I'm glad we have some excitement. It's been a little bit. And then I do have to remind myself, even Bill Belichick went 5-11 his first year in New England. So it's going to build up. If they make the playoffs, I'm stoked, but I don't expect them to do much. Hopefully be more competitive than they were the last time they were in the playoffs when they got blown out. But yeah, we have promise. I think we have the right coach. But we've been hinting at talking about this week.
Yeah.
I think it's time for us to get into the next segment.
This is EastSide News.
This is East Side News, as we are going to do a little recap of all the teams and then try to jump in on any sort of news that came up about. We do have some controversies going on in the league. Should we just cut right to it? Should we just get straight to the Cowboys?
Did they play football this week?
Oh, boy, did they play football.
Let's talk Cowboys.
Yeah, let's get into the Dallas Cowboys against the Eagles. We're going to knock out 2 birds, 1 stone. My work was really easy today because the Commanders also played the Giants. So
you just had 2 games.
Yeah.
Following 2 games and then just follow up on any sort of controversies. Both had controversies. And we're going to get right into the first one over there. Did Dak spit first, or was it Jaleel Carter who ended up getting ejected from the game after he spit at Dak?
Oh, Dak totally spit first, but he spit into the ground. He when you look at it, he may have been talking, but he clearly spit directly at the ground. I think Jaleel Carter was a little hyped up. He does have a history of poor decision making from his time in college, so this isn't too surprising. Yeah, I don't know if you saw that, but the league's going to call him missing the last game his 1-game suspension, and he's fined $57K, and they're going to carry on.
Yeah, and I think you should. I mean, you shouldn't be spitting at the quarterback, but let me tell you something. Just when I was out on deck, he does something like that before the one play into the game. That got me amped. I loved it. He was going after a rookie offensive lineman, and he just goes straight up to him, says, "What you gonna do, bro? What you gonna do?" And he gets spit in the face and was able to draw the foul to get Jaleel Carter out for the first game.
Yeah,
I still debate whether he should have been kicked out. I'm like, yeah, I get it. He spit, but
it's actually like written into like the league rules. Like that's an instant toss. So one thing that drove me nuts is I used to love Sports Illustrated back in the day, but
who didn't?
they're we all know they're a shell of themselves. But their senior writer for the NFL, Connor Orr, immediately got an article posted and was going on and on about this is essentially the wussification of the NFL. When there's a long history dating back to over 10, Sean Taylor got ejected from a game for this. Like, there's a history of this happening, and he just decided to, who cares about the facts? Let me engagement farm with my article. Oh, that made me mad.
Yeah,
but anyways,
yeah, he sounds like he's just an Eagles fan that's a little butthurt over there. They won the game and ended up working out for him anyway.
yeah. What were your thoughts on that, Ryan?
Yeah. He can't spit, especially on first. You just got to go.
Yeah.
But what a great start. There were some concerns that I had going into this game for sure. I know the Cowboys lost 20-24 out there, okay? What happened?
No, I was just thinking about how the Cowboys actually were in the whole game.
Yeah, they were not only in the game, part of the reason why is because Jaleel Carter was out, but the other factor that went into it is they came in with a bunch of fight. You know, Schottenheimer is a big player coach. I thought this team was going to be soft because of that. This was my big concern. He's all about pro energy. We're all working together. We play ping pong together. We eat together. But whatever he's doing on the energy front or just how the culture is on that football team, I was impressed with the fact that the Cowboys, of all teams who is not normally known for this, just started fighting early, wanted to sock it to the Philadelphia Eagles. So I love that aspect of it. Another note that I noticed was Dak Prescott played lights out in that game. He did, just what I thought I was out.
He almost looked as good as Danny Dimes did for the Colts.
Almost.
No, he looked better. He looked so good. The only CD let Dak down. CD let the Cowboys down. It wasn't Dak. Dak had the ball on the money the entire game.
Yeah, and it's crazy when you get into CD Lamb's numbers. So what Rob's referring to is the 5 drops and the one big drop on that post route that Dak threaded the needle, hit the spot, got him in there, and it could have hit him for the game-winning touchdown to win the game. And CD, I don't know what happened. I posted on X that he needs a new pair of gloves because I don't know how you even drop that. I don't even know.
He's on my dynasty team, so I was really feeling the hurt. Luckily, that didn't affect me this week. But CD was not at his best. You could see it in his language on the sideline. Like, he was frustrated with himself.
Yeah, and he even said it himself that he cost him the game. And here's the weird part. If you look at his stat line, he got 7 catches for 110 yards, averaged 15 yards a catch.
He had a good game.
You would hear that, you would just go, man, this guy is killing it. And he ended up being the villain. That and Miles Sanders, who Michael Irvin is accusing of being an inside informant of the Eagles, which I got a kick out of that when I heard that. Ryan, did you catch a game? Do you have any thoughts on it?
So I made it to the weather break, and that was probably hit the hay. Another point score. By the time they, it was almost like a nap, and the rest of the game.
Yeah, you probably need to go back to AirPods, buddy. You're making good points. I hear them. I'm like, oh, can't hear it.
Well, it's funny. The first like when we made the switch, and the second this started, there we go. We're back on AirPods.
All right, I'm back on it.
Oh yeah, there we go.
Yeah, it sounds a lot better. So, do you mind making that observation again?
I was gonna say I went to sleep after the weather break, and it seemed like that was probably a good time to go to sleep because I don't think another point was scored, and it just seemed like both offenses kind of died after that.
Yeah, it was a weird game. It was a tale of two halves for the Cowboys defense, who I was pulling my hair out because the defensive line could not get beyond the line of scrimmage. We did a lot better stopping the run if it was Saquon Barkley, but God forbid if it was Jalen Hurts, he was getting it all day. And Eberflus, it's called a QB spy. Why didn't he run that in the first half?
There was a lot of very obvious coaching mistakes throughout the league. I guess we got to remember, this is week 1 for the coaches too, and they don't play the starters in the preseason anymore. So week 1's really the get it right game.
Yeah, but if you play a little Madden, when you're playing against Jalen Hurts, you got to do a QB spy. Your linebackers have to get ready for that second level. I was just blown away that they were letting that happen.
But Jerry wants them to stop the run from the running back. They were ready for that.
Yeah, well, he actually did a really good job, by the way. Clark did a wonderful job. When they were in the game, they stopped him from below 4 yards of rush, and then when he was out of the game, boy, it was a train wreck. Saquon could start running again. But yeah, I think Eberflus made a lot of adjustments, to your point, Ryan, to address that, and thank God for that lightning strike or whatever was going on with the weather delay, because the Cowboys defense, I don't think it was just the offenses being stagnant. I genuinely think the Cowboys actually made some adjustments. They were doing some weird stuff. They did a corner blitz from Trayvon Diggs back at their own at their 10, and it almost worked, except Trayvon Diggs can't tackle, so I don't know what they were thinking there.
Yeah, all Diggs can do is intercept.
But the job was well done. He's fast, so he could catch Jalen Hurts if he had to, and ended up having it thrown away. Lots of positives to take from the game. It looks like I've been saying this for a while. I don't understand the hate of Javonte Williams. He was a first-round draft pick. The only reason why he hasn't done anything in the league right now is simply because he's been hurt. He goes out there and runs 15 rushes. I guess the stat line doesn't look too good, but 3.6 average. But he got two touchdowns, and he seems like a really good third down back, possibly a good combo with Blue later on. I never liked Miles Sanders, even though he had a big run, but he was also guilty for fumbling the ball and handing it to the Eagles over there.
Yeah, I think Miles Sanders might be the one that is going to give away for Jadon Blue. I hope so.
Yeah,
as a Texas fan, I want Blue in there as soon as possible. Don't worry about his fumbling issues in college. I'm sure he can afford better gloves now.
Yeah, that's going to be a sticking point.
Get it? Sure. Sticking point.
Yeah. If he starts fumbling the ball, then it doesn't matter who it goes. At least the other guy's faster, though. I don't think Miles Sanders has that step anymore.
Jaden Blue's it.
For sure. Other than that, Marshawn Nealon, who had to step up and actually replace Micah Parsons, did a pretty good job. He got 2 tackles, 1 sack. This is his second year in the league, too. Or first, rookie year. So for him to do what he did out there was pretty impressive to step up like that and do that. George Pickens didn't do too much. He got 3 catches for 30 yards, 4 targets only. I don't know what was going on. I guess they blanket covered him, or Dak just said, screw it, let me go to the guy that drops the ball.
Yeah, I think a little bit of that and building up that trust. Plus, he was probably worried that Pickens was going to start a fight at any moment, so he didn't want to throw the ball his way.
Well, if you're worried about a fight with Pickens, number one thing you should be doing is throw him the ball, because he gets upset about that. So bad play there, Dak, if that's your game plan. But overall, the offense looked really good. Defense, I'm still a little shaky on, but they had a much better second half. There's no such thing as moral victories, they said, but I was so down and out on this football team heading into the season that the fact that they put on any sort of performance like that, I got a lot of positives from it, and I can see this team at least getting 8 to 9 wins going further. But, if Dak keeps going at this rate, what was the funniest thing about Dak? He looked quick in the pocket. But he's still slow as F when he runs out.
Is it simply that the first time probably in 2 years, Dak's healthy?
Possibly. because anytime that pass rush got there, he was reacting really quickly and making moves, and I was really impressed with that part of his game. But man, once he got into the open field, that was a minnow with a bunch of sharks around him. So never had a chance. But yeah, and the Eagles, I mean, it was a hard-fought game. You can make an argument that they played a C performance and they still pulled away with the win. So, it's hard to tell. It's week 1. We don't know what this exactly means, but right now it looks like the Cowboys are looking like they're in good shape, and the Eagles got the W. So, classic Dallas Cowboys versus the Eagles game, and not too surprising, I guess, that it's close, because it typically is between those two division rivals. And Philadelphia fans, you did a wonderful job. I saw someone giving there was one fan that reached out to one of the players and said, "I hope you die." That was really nice. Saw a lot of birds flipping off towards there. So the Philadelphia Eagle fan base still doing their part, still being who they are.
Fine form.
Yeah, they really hate the Dallas Cowboys, and that's okay. I hate you back. But yeah, that's what I got for the Cowboys and Eagles, and then we move on to the Washington Commanders and this team that we were all supposed to be afraid of. I kept on hearing ESPN buzzing about the New York Giants possibly being good. Laid a egg out there. They only scored 6 points. Russell Wilson, dude, that guy.
But he's Russell Wilson. What do you mean? He had a bad game?
It's weird, though, with Russell Wilson. It seems like this happens every year where everyone's like, he's actually good. He's actually good. And the last, 3 years, I'm going, guys, maybe he's not.
He's not. What, Ryan, what are your thoughts on Russell Wilson? Do you have some thoughts on him?
It's kind of fool's gold at this point. It's everyone has this picture of him in Seattle being able to sling it, being a little mobile. But the past 3 years have been horrible. But everyone's just looking for that stopgap between being bad and their quarterback of the future, and they think Russell Wilson's it. But it hasn't turned out well for the Broncos until well for the Steelers. It hasn't turned out well for the Broncos until well for the Steelers. I'm gonna guess it's gonna be the same way for the Giants.
Yeah, I think he's totally done. People forget Pete Carroll, who kind of knows what he's doing, chose Geno Smith over Russell Wilson. Pete Carroll told the league's just not listening. I honestly think the Steelers could have made a pretty good run last year had they just kept Justin Fields in.
Who, the Steelers?
Yeah.
Yeah. They very well could have. I will also say, one, the Commanders' defense is really good. Let's get that out there. That defensive line's no joke. The Giants tried to make a lot of improvements on their offensive line, and it doesn't look like they're too improved this year. But my biggest thing with the Giants is Brian Daboll. Dude, that is the most boring offense in the NFL right now. That man does not run any sort of motion. That man does not run any sort of weird play action, wacky plays, push passes, anything to try to keep a defense off guard. So I actually feel a little bad, although Russell Wilson's kind of done it to himself because he's been playing really bad, for any quarterback playing in this offense, because I just don't see how you can succeed with this. If you're running a boring offense that's very predictable for people to be able to stop the run, I don't know how you can make it any more efficient than what this is right now. I mean, this looks, for the Giants' sake, I would not put Jackson Dart in this year until Dayball's gone. Like, you cannot do that to that man, because I don't think he's prepared to take over this offense right now. They've got talent. They should be able to do something. They got Malik Neighbors. They got Tracy Jr. Their offensive line's a bunch of veterans. They should be doing something a little bit better, and they're just not doing it.
Neighbors looked like he wanted to fight Russell Wilson on the sideline.
Yeah, and he also picked Dayball tried to give him a high five or whatever, like, good job, buddy, and Malik Neighbors wanted nothing to do with it. I don't know why they're wasting their time with this, because if he's losing the team, they just can't do that. And
maybe we set up a trade, Dayball to UNC,
and then the Giants.
build in New York to cap his career where it all started for him.
I mean, it's a possibility out there. I always wondered how Patriots fans feel about that, because that's the big rumor mill going on. Do you guys want him back with the Giants, the team that took you guys down twice, or?
He started there. I'm okay with it.
What do you think, Ryan?
I agree. I think I'd like to see Belichick coaching some NFL team, especially because he's so close to that record. I think he deserves it, and if it's with the Giants, more power to him.
Yeah, I agree. He's an average team, 2 average seasons away from setting that record. I don't think Andy Reid's going to end up touching it, because, if Andy Reid coaches more than 2 more years, I would be shocked. I think he's happy with what he's done. And that team it's hitting that lull that, us Pats fans saw for almost a decade in between titles. So, if there's a team that's going to let Bill come back, but he's got to do some winning at UNC, or I think his image is going to be a little bit too much. I still think the Cowboys made a mistake not bringing him in.
Belichick?
When they could have. Think about all the marketing Jerry could have done around that record.
I think he's pretty happy with Shoddy. But we'll see.
He can control Shoddy.
Yeah. I don't think Belichick and Jerry. I don't know. Jerry has he's got a lot of knowledge for the game, though. He does have respect for it. Bill Parcells said he actually didn't mind working with Jerry. He just got tired of coaching. But it wasn't a Jerry thing. He knew Jerry going into it. So I wonder if the same thing would happen with Belichick. I mean, he's putting up with a lot of marketing right now with the Hard Knocks jumping in on their in-season play.
I'm excited to see that, although I hope there's a few wins to go along with it. I think there will be, but
yeah. On the other flip side of it, the Commanders did what they normally do. They got 432 total yards for that game, second ranked in the NFL. Obviously after week 1. 220 rushing yards and 233 passing yards, so they really didn't have to pass it too much because their running game was working so well. Which brings me to Ja'Cory Groski-Merritt, who is coming onto the scene and had a beautiful game.
He was a 6th rounder?
It says here undrafted, but I don't know. Sometimes I don't trust Brock.
I think he was 6th, but either way, he was 6th or anywhere from 6 to undrafted. So
yeah. And he is splashing the scene. He was climbing the fantasy charts, and I even took advantage of it. I was like, who is this guy? Started doing some reading, and he looks really, really good out there. Got 82 yards, big 42-yard run for a touchdown. He looks phenomenal out there. Looks like they got a good get there, replacing Brian Robinson Jr., which they gave up on Brian Robinson Jr. pretty early, didn't they?
They didn't want to pay him.
It's a running back.
And I'm assuming based on how McCaffrey's doing, Robinson will be taken over for the Niners sometime in the next 3 or 4 weeks. It'll be his team because McCaffrey will be hurt. So good for Robinson.
Yeah. And Deebo Samuel hits the scene, which here's a weird fact about me. He's my favorite non-quarterback, non-cowboy in the NFL. I've just always loved Deebo Samuel and his running style, smash mouth wide receiver. Just love that kind of style. He's just real fun to watch, and he's puts his heart and soul in the game. But in the offseason, they were giving him a lot of crap. They were saying that he was gaining weight, that he's real slow, and that he lost his step. And he goes out there, gets 7 catches for 77 yards and a big 19-yard rushing touchdown. Deebo Samuel looks like the Deebo Samuel we know.
Yeah, that for at least one game, he looked good. Hopefully he keeps it up. I'm all for the Commanders having a deep run. Their franchise, that history, they've earned it.
Yeah, for sure. Picking them up like they did in the trade, it should work out for them. I hate it when players like this join the Commanders because I really love Deebo Samuel, and now I have to cheer against him all year long. But it's quite exciting. Last worthy notes is Bobby Wagner, the veteran, came in there with 5 solo tackles, 5 assistant tackles, and then Darren Payne, the defensive tackle, who I would dream to have a defensive tackle like that, and Dorrance Armstrong, the defensive end, each recorded a sack, with Payne also adding 2 passes defended and Armstrong contributing 3 tackles. But playing against that Giants offense, that's not too impressive. I'm not even. I wouldn't even worry about it. Payne's a good player, but I don't know, man. I don't know what was up with the media so hyping the Giants last second there, but
they got excited about Dart.
Well, he's not there
playing
yet, and I don't think it matters. I genuinely don't think it matters. I think if Dart plays, it's going to be the same style of offense, and the poor rookie's going to be mentally fried. But that's all I got for the NFC East. What you got going on in the AFC East?
That means we get the AFC East, and Ryan, that means let's rip that Band-Aid off. We can talk about that Pats game first. Huge disappointment. I had several. The 2 big things that disappointed me, I thought the defense did just fine. We knew that they were going to attack our cornerbacks because Christian Gonzalez was out hurt, so we knew that was going to be a weak spot. The Pats only gave up 20 points. That's enough to win. In our pod last week, I believe I said 1st to 24 wins this game.
Mm-hmm.
So no one got to 24. The Pats could have. So I was fine with the defense overall. They started off, they looked horrible that first drive. Then they went on they kind of steadied themselves. That was good. It was the offensive side of the ball that kind of disappointed me. They couldn't run the ball. They had a total of 60 rushing yards. You can't win even in the NFL. You cannot win if you can't run the ball. Will Campbell, he had an okay debut. He did give up a sack, but
Rookie.
he's a rookie. He's gonna give up sacks. Just don't give up one a game. And he's so blue collar. He's so hardworking. He even though he's an LSU guy, he won me over immediately in that draft interview when he said he was going to fight and die for this team. I was like, okay, he's in New England. Let's go. But yeah, Drake May, decent, but ultimately we need, and maybe it's going to be Diggs, maybe it's going to be Booty. We need a receiver to step up. Yes, May completed throws to 10 different receivers. That's pretty great, but no one really stood out. Booty was 6 for 103, so that was great. But the only technical passing touchdown was to Pop Douglas, but Douglas finished with 2 receptions for -2 yards. So clearly, he didn't do a lot there. Travion Henderson was to me the bright spot besides Booty coming out of kind of nowhere to be the number 1 guy. Ryan, what were your? Oh, and I already think we need a new kicker. If you get drafted as a kicker and then you win the starting job, you shouldn't miss a kick. But he ended up making a couple, but he's got to earn my trust back.
Dip into the UFL.
I know,
I saw
right?
A lot of missed kicks today or this week. It was weird.
There was a ton. Ryan, what were your thoughts? What were your game thoughts on that great first half and then devastating second half?
Yeah. It's on the running game. I look at Henderson. It felt like every time he touched the ball, like we got some momentum. Then we give it to Ramondre, and the life would get sucked out of the offense. And I know you won. It was brutal. And I like Ramondre a lot, but it was almost like a dead down every time he touched the ball.
Yep.
And I will say the Raiders kicker, he missed the field goal too. So may have been elements.
Well, that one I think he missed from 50, 55 plus.
Did you guys hear about the kicking footballs that they're doing?
I did. They're letting them work the balls more than they used to.
Yeah, so they're bringing in special kicking footballs, and some people are thinking that they're drawing more because they're not used to the fact that they can kick it further.
Yep.
Pat McAfee himself said that he should be able to kick 70-yard field goals.
I think there was a couple 60-yarders this week. So I think and they can now use those same balls all season. So Correct. As they keep working on them,
get used to it. But yeah, just an observation. So maybe it's almost like they're not used to their own good footballs right now.
That would make sense. Good point. But anyways, so yeah, Stevenson, not good.
Yeah. It was the whole second half. It just you kind of wondered what the game plan was.
Yeah, it was bad. I love seeing Kayshon Boutte. He he was ready to go. He had a fantastic game. Hunter Henry stepped up too. I was surprised they brought him back. I thought he was going to be washed. He was playing, and he was playing hard. So feed it to him more. I think Diggs is still working his way back from injury, but 6 for 57, I'm cool with that. I don't know if Pop Douglas is the answer in the slot.
Yeah. And I think to your point, not getting a good preseason where these, especially with the new OC, getting the reps in, there's going to be a little time to get the training wheels on. But I have a lot of faith in Josh McDaniels, and I think they're going to turn it around pretty quickly offensively.
Yeah, I agree. Josh McDaniels coming back was awesome. I think that's the best thing for Drake May. And I think the offense has room to grow. I think our defense is going to also keep getting better, especially if we get Gonzalez back healthy. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, they look good.
Yeah.
Defense.
I think it's going to be good. So that's what went on there. There's not too much crazy news. I just kind of wanted to talk more about the game there. And then we'll pop over briefly. Let's talk about the Jets.
What a game.
I love to do the misspelling like that guy at the draft did a few years ago because that's perfectly Jets.
Stick it to him.
On this pod, longtime loyal listeners of this pod will know I'm high on Justin Fields. I think he's in the right place now because he's got a team that believes in him. He's got a good coach and good structure, which is really weird to say for the Jets, but they, for the first time since Parcells, have a good coach and good structure. And he's got the guy that got him to the league. He's got Garrett Wilson as his number one target again. The boys are back in town in New York, and they balled out. They lost to the Steelers, but they only lost by 2. They made it a game, and the Steelers had to make a kick at the gun with probably the best distance kicker in the league. And who again made his point of, hey, pay me. The Steelers kicker made us. I think that was one of the 60-yarders. Boswell. That was a 6. Thank you. I was missing his name because he's a kicker. But yeah, Boswell. I believe it was a 60-yarder at the gun for the win.
You got to give a little credit. I was out on Justin Fields. I'm one of the enemies, to Rob's point. But I was really impressed with Justin Fields. But on another note, with Aaron Rodgers being, struggling for the last 2 years, one being injured, and then the following year just not playing that well, he also looked pretty good out there. So we got to make amends here, right?
He did look good. Ryan, what are your thoughts on probably the most polarizing player in the league, Mr. Aaron Rodgers?
I really don't know. Like in the last couple of years, he hasn't looked super competitive, but at the same time, it's like a lot of his game is more around how he looks at the offense, not so much his physical ability. So every year, I don't have a ton of faith in him, but I'm not shocked when he has games like this.
Yeah, because I don't like Aaron Rodgers. I hope it doesn't keep up the whole season. Mm-hmm. Plus, I know some Steelers fans that'll be fun to needle with if and when he starts to struggle. But when the Steelers are good, that's good for the NFL. That gives us stuff to talk about. So that was there. I'm going to hold off on the game of the week for a second. Miami Dolphins, what I'm going to cover in EastSide News. We're going to hold off on the recap for when we get to the Colts quickly. Mm-hmm. I know we're going a little long on this pod. That's okay. The big news out of Miami is with Tyreek Hill again causing issues. He's got, as I mentioned last week, he's going through divorce proceedings. I'm assuming estranged right now, soon to be ex-wife, is now accusing him of domestic violence. His lawyers come back out and said it's just a ploy for a better settlement and more money. But the problem is, going all the way back into college, Tyreek Hill has a history of this. So
it's definitely looking like, I forgot the player, Antonio Brown syndrome. Yeah. Like it's going down that way.
This reminds me a lot of Antonio Brown, and I don't like it. At this point now, we were joking about someone, maybe even last week, talked about how the Cowboys would love a Tyreek Hill. I don't think at this point in time there's any team in the league that would touch him. until this all gets settled. Honestly, I think he's heading towards suspension.
Yeah,
maybe the Browns.
The Browns.
He would fit in with the Browns, but not till Deshaun Watson's healthy.
Shador Sanders can throw to him, or Shador Sanders.
So that's the news out of Miami. We'll talk about the recap when we get to the Colts in a minute. But I would say, granted, the finish last for the Monday night game made a push for it. The game of the week involved the team of the AFC East, the Buffalo Bills, with an unbelievable comeback. There's a lot of fans in Buffalo that are going to claim they were there for that finish. But we know from watching the game and the thousands streaming out when they were down 15, they may have still been on the grounds, but they were in their car trying to get out. What a finish. Josh Allen looked like vintage Patrick Mahomes with the way he orchestrated that offense. It was just like they were gonna win that game. And they're just like, yep, cool, you left us just enough time. We're still close. Okay, kick it into gear, go. What a game.
It's going to be a big problem for you guys and the Patriots, huh?
Oh, the Bills will probably sweep the Pats. It's probably going to happen. It's okay. We'll get them in a couple of years when they're on their downswing and we're on our upswing.
That was a phenomenal game, though, because it was on both teams, too. Lamar Jackson looked great out there, too. Josh Allen was balling out. He sinks passes that no one can cover. No one can cover. He's got such an advantage with his arm strength and his accuracy that the safeties cannot go far back enough to cover for Josh Allen.
They can't.
Yeah, and Patrick Mahomes can't do that. Lamar Jackson can't do that. That's just a Josh Allen thing, his little advantage there against them, that he's fun to watch. They're both very fun to watch, too, on top of it. But
yeah, that being said, the end of that game, to me, the controversy, I want to hear both of y'all's takes on this. I think the Ravens should have gone for it, and they never should have punted the ball back. Who cares that if they failed, the Bills are already in field goal range? The second they punted, the game was over in my eyes.
I don't understand why they didn't do it, because John Harbaugh is Mr. Analytics, and he cares about that kind of stuff where he just lays it out on the line, known for going for it on fourth down. I was just as confused as you are. Like, why not? You knew what Josh Allen was going to do as soon as you get that ball. Your defense was tired. They were fainted out. They couldn't keep up with him anymore. And you punted? Blew my mind. 4th and 4 for Lamar Jackson. You just have him stand back in the pocket for a little bit and run for a first down. And it would have been a sure thing if the receiver's not open.
Yeah.
They have the offense that's capable of picking that up whenever they want to. And for them not to do it, and if the Bills scored on the negative side of it, you have more time with the ball.
You still have time to do something.
Yeah. And then don't forget the tackle that set up the field goal where you could have just let him score and you would have had a chance to give Lamar Jackson the ball. A lot of little mistakes, and then Derrick Henry fumbling as well. That was another one.
That, to me, was the most shocking thing that happened in the entire game, was Derrick Henry fumbling in a key moment.
He's human. He could bleed.
Yeah. But Ryan, would you have punted that ball?
No. I think if you have the option to keep the ball in the Mars hand, even if it's just for one play, where the risk is giving it to Josh Allen, it's like you got to give it to Lamar 10 times out of 10.
Yeah,
every time. It seems easy to me.
I mean, honestly, you could argue with, and I'm a big Lamar fan. I really was hopeful a few years ago when there were some contract issues that maybe it would have been Bill Belichick and Lamar Jackson leading the next era of the Patriots. Obviously, it didn't happen. You could argue that as long as it's 4th in single digits anywhere on the field, just give the ball to Lamar.
Absolutely.
He's probably got a better than 50% chance of making it.
For sure. I mean, he's hard to catch. He's just in a position that he plays like no one else. Even if you have him 0 in the rights, it doesn't make a difference because he'll find a way to get away. Yeah. Great game, though. I was trying to go to bed early thinking,
Me too.
First half's done. I'm done with this thing. And it just kept my eyes open, and I realized we've got probably one of the best NFL games I've seen in a long time, and it was very entertaining. Yes,
it was. That was a great game. So yeah, that is our EastSide news, which means, Nick, we need to figure out
what's going on with the Colts.
What's going on with the Colts?
What's going on with the Colts?
Yes, this is what's going on with the Colts, the team of the pod that we luckily randomly drew, and it might be a Super Bowl winner, Rob.
I was going to say, clearly after this last week, the AFC title game is Steelers versus Colts, and the Colts are obviously going undefeated all the way through.
Yeah, clearly. I mean, I don't see anything that's stopping them. And on top of it, we've both been talking about Danny Dimes being a potential MVP for this league, and he looks like he's on track.
Yeah, I mean, y'all, we didn't do any live streams week 1 because we said Nick was out of town. Yeah, he said he may have been going to Colorado. We all know he went to Vegas to play some bets on Danny Dimes for MVP.
Because I've always liked him. You can check our content. I have never doubted that man. He has always impressed me, and he did it again in this big game with the Colts as they played the Philadelphia Eagles. If this is your first time watching the show, that is pure sarcasm.
They played the Dolphins, not the Eagles.
Oh, yeah. They're on my mind. Yes, Colts beat the Dolphins 33-8, and it was a crazy performance by Daniel Jones as he was 22 for 29, 272 yards, 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions, 115.9 passer rating, 7 rushes for 26 yards, and 2 touchdowns off running, which Daniel Jones can run. I've always thought that. But what a psycho game, and what's going on with the Dolphins? That's what this segment should be called.
Yes. Yeah, I think hopefully the Dolphins are on their way to 0-2, as we'll get to in our next segment. But they didn't look like they felt like playing football like at all. They got hit in the mouth quick by the Colts, and then they folded, which is not what a Mike McDaniel's team does.
It was a bizarre performance. I really thought the Dolphins were going to play better, but there's been a lot of riffraff in the media saying how bad the Dolphins are in behind the scenes in the locker room, and it looks clear as day that something's amiss. Something's not working right. McDaniels might be losing the team.
Yeah, he might be, but if he does get fired, unless it really just turns into a full-on dumpster fire, I think he'd be one of the first coaches hired in the hiring cycle if he wanted to not take a year off. But wow, they looked bad.
It was really bad. Jonathan Taylor still kind of a very mediocre day for him. 18 rushes for 71 yards, not the best performance. Michael Pittman Jr. got 6 catches for 80 yards, 1 touchdown.
Good.
He's a good player. We all knew it. I've been Tyler Warren, the rookie, who
we talked about as a true weapon, and he showed it.
7 catches for 76 yards. Hell of a first performance there. Overall, really good performance for the Colts. Ryan, did you catch that game or catch any? There's not much to watch.
It was on at the same time as the Pats.
So it was. One thing though, Daniel Jones is he spent the back half of last year in Minnesota with Kevin O'Connell, who tends to turn quarterbacks around. So maybe this shift in how he's playing now versus how he played in the Giants maybe a little more than a flash in the pan.
It could be. I mean, Daniel Jones does have the talent. I did say that. I really did say that.
Yeah, no,
he
does.
but
you got a point with the Kevin O'Connell thing. Look at Sam Darnold. Look at pre-injury Kirk Cousins.
JJ McCarthy.
Oh my goodness, JJ McCarthy after the first quarter last night. And now Danny Dimes.
He's
another disciple.
Yeah. But do we also still have to make sure to give an assist to New England because Kevin O'Connell was a Patriot?
Yep. Backed up Tom Brady.
He was Tom Brady's backup. So really, y'all can thank Tom Brady for this.
I think you guys have enough victories. You don't need to claim that one.
But no, that was a great point about Minnesota, though.
Very interesting. Yeah. That's and he's doing it again right now with JJ McCarthy. It seems like whoever joins his system. Well, that's the difference. That's the opposite of Brian Daboll. He runs a very friendly offense. The offensive line's not under too much pressure. They like to run the ball. They do play action. They do motions. They do everything they can to keep the defense offset. So, Minnesota's just been doing that for a while there. It doesn't seem to matter who the quarterback is, like you said. But you're right. Maybe Daniel Jones just needed a refresher to get back going, and he looked phenomenal out there. I don't know. Maybe he's got a good coaching situation and it's going to work out. it's not making Brian Daboll look good. I'll tell you that.
No, Dayball's done.
But is this more of Daniel Jones being good, or is this
It's being free of the Giants.
or is it the Dolphins being bad?
Oh, we're gonna find out this next week, I think.
For-
But yeah, I think you had an interesting story that you wanted to touch on about the Colts and their very unique ownership structure, I believe.
Yeah, and supposedly this has been going on since 2012. I just caught wind of it, so I'm just going to bring it onto the show. But Carly Ursay Gordon, I guess she just got married, right?
Mm-hmm.
The co-owner with the sissy Casey Foyt and Kaylin Jackson. So it's really cool.
Yeah, all three sisters have a role.
Yeah. She listens to the headset of the coaches. She's been doing this since 2012. I didn't know this.
Yeah.
Trying to tap into whether or not she just wants to make sure that the operation's running right, but she also wants to call out coaches that don't seem to know what they're doing. And she used to do it for her father all the time. When she didn't feel like a coach was doing something good, she'd report it over to him, kick him out. What I don't get is the head coach, Shane Steichen, is saying, oh, he's all for it. I love her involvement. But if you were a head coach of this football team, she clearly knows football. I believe she does know football. Would you want your owner to be tapping in and listening to everything you're doing?
So I got no issue with the owner tapping in and listening. If then the report came out that she started saying, no, do this play, no, do that, and she started talking on the headset, okay, that's Jerry Jones territory right there. Back it up a little bit.
But you joke about that, but Jerry's never put on a headset.
That we know of.
That we know of. But I've been watching Cowboys football for quite some time. I have not seen the headset. I've seen them pace the sideline and talking to players.
Right, yeah.
This is kind of new. I also think it's kind of cool, though. Sounds like at least the Colts have a big football fan as their owner over there, because she clearly likes the game and wants to make sure this team's run right. And so far, she's doing good.
It gives me vibes of Jerry Buss and GD Buss over with the Lakers.
Oh,
yes.
Those are good vibes. I, as a Celtics fan, I'll still say those are good vibes. They ran a very good ship.
I'm not going to say anything positive for the Lakers.
The Dallas fan over here, still having a hard time.
I'm all butthurt over here because my GM.
But hey, you got Anthony Davis.
You got flag too.
It's
you got flag.
It's just not the same, Ryan. It's just not the same. But he'll do good. It'll be fine. But he won't let you know. But anyway, yeah. So the Colts do look. They look really good out there. I was pretty impressed with that. We'll see if that gets to continue. I don't know what's going on with the Dolphins. And I think, Rob, you said you were gonna take care of that part of it.
Yeah, they suck.
They're just something's down. I think Mike McDaniel's going to be one of the coaches out. I think Daboll should get fired here shortly. I'd give him a month. I'd put it as a month, I
think Daboll before McDaniel's, unless the Dolphins owner gets trigger happy after an 0-2 start.
That looked like straight quitting. And when teams quit, you can't do this all season long. It's dangerous for the players too. So
it is.
Yeah, you can't have that. So if it's not working out, it's not working out. But I think
it's time to make some picks. We got 3 picks to make. Let's get ready to make them.
Yes, sir. Let's fire it up.
Making picks with Nick and Rob. Nick and Rob. The pick might be a hatchet job. Less reliable than a cone on the cob, but I love hearing picks from Nick and Rob.
Yeah, I got to work on the volume levels, but outside of that, that's our new transition for making picks with Nick and Rob, and of course our guest. And do you have the score sheet right now? What we got going on?
I've got it up. I'm gonna scroll through it. So we're gonna pick, the Pats game, the Cowboys game, and of course the Colts game. So, the Cowboys have an early game on Sunday. These noon starts. That's weird for the Cowboys.
Got a lot,
but I guess Jerry might have campaigned for that, so he didn't need to actually put up a curtain in front of his window.
Maybe. I don't think he cares. He likes the controversy of that sun going down there. What I find really bizarre is it's the Cowboys versus Giants, usually a primetime game. I think that's also New York kind of quitting on their football team, clearly, because They must not be doing good on ratings. That's usually a shoe-in primetime.
Yeah, and obviously the Cowboys weren't picked to be very good this year. So we get the Giants coming to Dallas. The line right now, and the line will adjust. We're recording this on a Tuesday night. The line right now is Dallas minus 5.5. Granted, we're going to mention the lines, but we're just picking straight up. After what I saw last week, I really hope it's the Cowboys.
I want the Cowboys, obviously, to win. I am very nervous about this, especially when they're favored. I think we play better as underdogs. But Shoddy's got – I think this is more of a test than the Eagles, because the Eagles, you're supposed to lose that game. That's okay to lose that one. But this one, this should be a gimme. This should be a gimme. And if they don't get that gimme, the Shoddy honeymoon period is over in Dallas.
All right.
Especially after the Giants played the way they do.
Yeah.
Everything in my football sense, outside of my homerism, says the Cowboys should get this win, though. I mean, Marshawn Nealon's been playing better. The defensive line should be stopping the run. Once you stop that run, Russell Wilson doesn't look like he could do much. You always have to worry about Malik Neighbors out there, but and we do have a little bit of secondary issues, although Trayvon Diggs even looked good. So I think the Cowboys should be able to win that, and if we can continue a good running game against the Eagles, we should be able to do it against the Giants. This should be a shoe-in win. We're also playing at the Cowboys Stadium, and Dak does seem to he plays well at home.
And Russell Wilson is playing for the Giants.
Yeah, we got Russell Wilson. So what do you think, Ryan?
Yeah, I think a healthy Dak is a really good quarterback. And even though they didn't win last week, there's a lot of good things to take away from that game. And I think they're going to go in and get their first home win of the season.
I like it. We're 3 for 3 for the Cowboys. That's awesome. Also at noon, so I might have to do some watching from Little Woodrow's or something, since they're all on at the same time. We've got the Patriots heading into Miami. The schedule is always interesting. Obviously, Miami is a very warm place, a very humid place. New England in the winter is typically cold. The Patriots always travel to Miami early in the year, and the Dolphins always come to New England at the end of the season in the last couple weeks. It's a quirk the schedule makers always do to make these division rivals play in the home team's environment, which I think is kind of cool. But even back in the day, Tom Brady would struggle down here. Getting a win was always hard fought. The line is even after what we saw. The line is right now Miami minus 1.5. Kind of surprising. Pretty much a pick 'em because the home team's usually good for 3 points. But yeah, after what we saw, I gotta think the Patriots win this. I really hope, because I don't want to start having vibes of later years Bill Belichick when we couldn't score points. I personally need to see the Patriots put up 24 or more points. Win or lose, they need to put up at least 24 points. Give the ball to Henderson. Give the ball to Henderson. Give the ball to Henderson. If you need to let Stevenson, touchdown hawk, steal one from the 1 yard line or something, fine. But give the ball to Henderson. The dude can catch the ball. He can run the ball. And then maybe a fan favorite from the preseason, Efton Chisholm, maybe activate him, let him get a shot in the slot instead of Pop Douglas.
So you're going with the Patriots. Should get the win, though.
Patriots to win. They better score more than 24.
I have a sneaky suspicion that the Miami Dolphins are going to bounce back. I just have a sneaky suspicion, and I do have to say, you said it yourself, that 24 points, you just want them to score 24 points. I just don't think right now the Patriots' offense is just up to snuff. Not to say that it won't be at the end of the year. I think they're going to be fine. They got a lot of kinks to work out. They got a rookie running back, and then Drake May is also new, sophomore year. But I would imagine if the Miami Dolphins don't bounce back, that's it for Mike McDaniel. So I'd imagine he's going to coach for his life out there, because this one does need to be a win for the Miami Dolphins. I do believe that, just for his sake. And we're going to find out. Did they just quit on him or not? Because that's the only thing that's concerning me heading into this game. I think talent-wise, the Miami Dolphins should be able to win this game. You have Tyreek Hill, you got Jalen Waddle, you got Tua, who plays really well. A-Chain at the running back. They have a good offensive line. There's no reason why the Dolphins should be losing these football games. And if they do it again, I mean, that's going to be it. So talent-wise, they've got it. I just don't know. That's the only concern I have is, are they quitting on him or not? And if they lose, I think they quit on him. I'm going to count on the fact that they actually like McDaniel and they're going to pull it off and get the win.
All right. Yeah, I hear that. So Nick's got Miami. Ryan, you go and you stand on the homer line, or are you gonna pull Miami to do what they've often done in the past and win in Miami?
I think the Patriots defense was really strong last week, even without Gonzalez. And I think the offense is only going to continue to improve week over week. So I think it's going to be a close game. McDaniel's kind of coaching for his job at this point. But I think the Patriots are going to pull it off.
There we go. All right. So we got 2 for the Patriots, 1 for the Dolphins.
The enemy.
But, all right. And then we've got the last game that we're going to pick here. It's time to see if the Colts were a mirage, or it's time to see if they can step up. The Broncos are going into Indianapolis. All right. And the Broncos got their own issues. They did get a win last week, but Bo Nix did not look good. So they got to show what they're doing. Denver is favored on the road, minus 1.5. What do you think, Nick?
Bo Nix, this doesn't surprise me. He had a bad start last year, too, and then he started becoming one of the top 10 quarterbacks in the league by the end of the year. So I'd imagine the same thing's probably going to happen. He's probably going to struggle early in the year. The thing about the Denver Broncos is they have a really good defense, and they play keep away with their offense. Again, same thing. I think all the talent leans towards the Broncos, and they should be able to pull it off. I just don't know what's going on with the Indianapolis Colts. I know their defense is going to be good, but I just don't know about Danny Dimes. And I shouldn't be doing this, but Danny Dimes is going to have a Danny Dimes game. And I think this is going to be the game where we get back to earth and realize his inconsistencies are going to rear their ugly head. So give me the Broncos. I think the Broncos are going to pull that win off.
Yeah, for sure. I'm going to lean Broncos here because of the stronger overall team, because of the better coach. I think the Colts fall down back to earth here. I think the Broncos are going to win this running away. That being said, if I'm wrong, we're going to be real excited next week talking about our Colts team of the pod.
That's our team.
So, yeah, I'm picking the Broncos, but I'll be excited if I'm wrong.
Same here. What you got, Ryan?
I think I'm going to go Colts. I think they have a lot of weapons. Denver has Surtain, but they have Downs, they have Pittman, they have what's the tight end? Warren or Waller? I just the way Bo Nix and Peyton struggled at the beginning of last year. I think it's a good spot for Indy to go in and earn some bread and ride the momentum from last week.
All right, there we go. We got someone going Indy as well. It's going to be another fun week of football. Ryan, thank you so much for joining us. We had a great time talking. It was great to finally, after a few heavy Cowboy weeks, finally have someone to talk Patriots with. And
they got you through the off season. Just you remember that, though.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did.
All the news they were making.
So, yeah, we'd love to have you on anytime. And, yeah, thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem, Ryan. We'll see you next time. And obviously, if we're ever doing a live feed, especially with the Patriots, just jump on, join us, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
awesome.
Hopefully, we're looking at a later in the season one when the I think it's Sunday Night Football Jets Pats. We'll get that one circled right now.
Yeah.
Cool.
So,
yeah.
Cool. Thank you.
Cool. All right, I'll talk to you guys.
Yeah, we'll do. Fucking show.
Yeah. So remember, if you're listening to us now, you found us on YouTube, most likely, if you can see our wonderful faces. If not, though, make sure, if you haven't yet, make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, share with your friends, of course. You can also find us on Instagram at the Nick and Rob Homer Hour. And also, you can find us on, oh my goodness, Spotify. There we go. Spotify. If you prefer to listen, especially while you're driving around to our pod, Nick and Rob Homer Hour on Spotify. But Nick, where else can you find us?
We are now releasing shorts on TikTok. So if you are into TikTok, if that's your point of choice, you just want quick content, our shorts will be posted on there. Feel free to follow us. It's at Nick and Rob Homer Hour. And on TikTok, pretty easy to remember. Just jump on, listen to it, like it, comment on it. And I have not, and I still have a perfect record of commenting on every comment on our pages. The key to that is not having that many comments.
So make it hard for them. Follow us on TikTok, share, make those comments. Of course, like, subscribe. We will be back next week. Scheduling note, we are going to be releasing one day later next week. We're going to come live to you next week on, well, not live. We will come recorded and then posted next week on Wednesday. Still plenty of time before the games Thursday and beyond. We'll see you then.
See you next time.